Ladies and gentlemen, we are live early because I saw what SoFi stock was doing and we had to talk about it. So let's just take a quick look here as this is absolutely mind-blowing. SoFi stock just hit a new 52-week high. Okay, so passing up the point on January 23rd that everyone was worried was the absolute top and that it was over from here. Obviously, it did look pretty grim for a while. Obviously, we had lots of talks that rates were going to be extended, not end up getting cut. Liberation Day, tariff talks, yuck. And then trade talks are not as bad as we thought. Tariffs are not as bad as we thought. We might be getting a rate cut. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, yes, we are. Bang, bang, bang. And here we go. All right. So congratulations. Congratulations to the shareholders of Robinhood as well. Look at this one-year chart. 287% up in the last year. Holy crap, guys. Oh my gosh. This has been wild. It's been absolutely wild. SoFi, lots of growth. Yeah, Shane's right. No more haters today. You don't see haters whenever the stock's doing this. They all go into hiding. They wait for another downturn that, somehow proves their thesis, even though this whole time. So if if there was people who are holding on to SoFi stock that said, hey, you know what? I'm going to hold until I have a new 52-week high or something like this. Here's your chance. If you want out, go right ahead. All right? Stop complaining whenever it heads back down. You had the opportunity. I didn't talk you into anything. Stop blaming other people for your own financial decisions. This stock has been an absolute winner if you were to have invested in it in the last year, up 181%. Stop complaining. All right? It's been phenomenal. This has been phenomenal. All right. Now, in terms of other companies that are running Joby, but like, if you guys remember my draft and some of my picks in the draft, we have AppLovin up 6.42%, and then also the Trade Desk up 5.6%. So we're seeing a lot of activity in other names that have been running for me in my portfolio there. I mean, Palantir, Robinhood. Let's see if there's other names that I recognize here from Amit's. I think he has Nebius. Someone has Nebius. I think it's Amit. That's up 3.4%. And then, Matt's doing super well with all his Abcelera and everything like this. But let's get to a little bit of what we're going to see for Robinhood's live event, okay? Because there has been some leaks, and from what the leaks look like, they look very accurate, which is essentially that they're going to be announcing that, wait. I'll bring it up here. But that Robinhood is going to launch a tokenized stock platform, which is going to include private equities, which they might even be announcing some names. And people said that they can see this in the code, and because they just uploaded it this morning, getting ready for this launch. So I guess it's going to go live right after the announcement. But yeah, essentially, they're going to be launching a tokenized stock trading platform and starting in EU. That was another thing that they noticed, that this is not going to just be anyone can get a hold of this. It's going to start in the EU, which I think is good too, right? Especially for things like payment for order flow and other processes like that take away from Robinhood's ability to make money in those sectors. Well, or in those geographies, find a new way to make money. Right? This is going to be, I think that this announcement is going to be bigger than the SoFi or the Robinhood Gold announcement. This is going to be a huge one. Crypto makes up like the most amount of money on their transactional based revenue. It's so much. And now you're having an event to talk about potentially staking, lending, stable coins, tokenized real world assets. There is so much to do here that they haven't done. Okay, so much. They have Vitalik Buterin coming down, who is the founder of Ethereum. So unlike Bitcoin and a lot of the other coins where their founders remain anonymous or behind an alias, Vitalik is a very well-known figure. He's a different kind of person. Okay, he's a, I don't know how to describe him without just being rude, but yeah. Vitalik is going. He's going to be presenting there. Vitalik is going, and the I never know how to say it. Is it Abratrim? I always forget how to say it. They're going as well. The founders there, founders of TradFi. But yeah, Vitalik Buterin is going to be there. But he's a different kind of guy. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. This is going to be big. It's going to be pushing the envelope. If this was just staking, Vitalik would not come out. This is going to be something that no one else has done. What's the certainty that that's going to happen? I mean, that's that's what Robinhood does all the time. They always push the envelope, right? So take a space like crypto, where a lot is happening. Take a high-paying area like crypto, a very the momentum is building on cryptocurrency, so it's becoming more and more popular. There is so much to do here. Even staking would take Robinhood's earnings up by probably 20% on what they're already making, maybe even more, right? If you think about Coinbase, they make something like 15 to 17% of their overall revenue just on staking rewards. Okay. From the perspective of Robinhood, who charges 1/3 the cost of Coinbase, imagine what staking would be able to accomplish. Now, they will probably do a very Robinhood-esque thing where they are giving you the majority of the actual staking reward. Okay. So I don't want to get into the whole what is staking and everything like this, but essentially, I'm going to have to go right into it. There are nodes that are set up, which are essentially computers that are verifying transactions. And the way that cryptocurrency is verifiable and the security is really high is that it's not being verified by one person. It's being verified by nodes all over the world, and they run similar transactions. So then they come to each other and they say, hey, what did you get for this transaction? Well, I got this. Okay, well, it's synced up across the board. We all agree. Okay, go ahead. But if there is a bad player, somebody that wants to sort of hack into the network, maybe they would come in and say, hey, our transaction, it actually came in, this wasn't $100 transaction, this was a $1 million transaction, right? But because it's a network of computers that end up trying to verify it, if everyone says this was a $100 transaction and one computer, one node says that this was a $1 million transaction, that person messed up, okay? And so how do we punish that one node? Well, they need to put up what's called a stake or proof of stake. This is how we know that your work is going to get done appropriately, is because if you're saying, hey, I'm going to back my work with my money. So I'm going to sit here with my Ethereum and say, I know what transactions are coming in and which aren't, and I'm going to base that on money. Well, if those all the nodes agree that one node, it wasn't a $1 million transaction, it was only $100 or whatever it is, that person's trying to hack us, then the system somehow, I'm not that technical, would end up removing their stake. It would burn their security deposit. And so that's sort of how staking works, is that you're putting up your money to allow nodes to work, and you're trusting that they are going to follow the rules and do everything like this. Obviously, you just pick the insanely verifiable, high, trustworthy businesses to stake with. But that's how Robinhood sort of works, is that they're most likely going to stake on your behalf. But most times, if you actually have just a wallet, like a a decentralized currency that you are looking to stake, then you have to pick the node that you're going to go with. So, yeah. Anyway, someone said that SoFi is ripping again. Let's go check it out. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it's ripping again. 1883. If we can somehow get to $19 a share before the Robinhood event. By the way, this is a new 52-week high. 1886 is what we just hit a second ago. So that'd be like right around here. We were just up here a second ago. But if we zoom out, this is my local high. Okay, not just 52-week high. I mean, if we go back all the way back, the only time that we haven't hit this was November of 2021. So within this 3 to 4 year period, we haven't seen prices like this before. This is not the same company as what it was back here, and definitely not what it was back here. This was not one of these businesses where you see the stock and they go, oh my gosh, they must have had huge government contracts over here. They must have had all these sort of, acquisitions and potential mergers. And that's why we had these 3 big peaks here. No, this was just market sentiment, huge excitement in the company. And, the company has actually been quite linear in their growth. And over here is really reflecting what we've known this whole time, which is that SoFi, can we continue to push the boundaries here? Come on, I'm pump the stock. Yes, there we go. New highs. We're up almost 10% today on a Robinhood event day. What is going on? This is incredible. All right. I wish I put it in my freaking... And we did hit 1890, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We're 10 cents to go. Should I buy some shares to help this? Not like it's going to make a dent, but I want to see 19 before we end up going. Be careful. It could be a pump and dump. I mean, I know what this business is about. This business is not a pump and dump. This little increase in shares could be not long lasting, but we are overdue in terms of the stock price rising. So it is worrisome whenever it happens in a single day. But yeah, like for the most part, I do know the business that we're buying here. So yeah, very confident. By the way, I put out a tweet yesterday on SoFi, and the king himself, Anthony Noto, retweeted me. So I, appreciate that. But potentially this could also be some sort of short squeezing a little bit. We obviously have a mass amount of shares outstanding that are betting against SoFi right now. And yeah, Robinhood falling a little bit right now, but still $87.50. Very, very exciting day for Robinhood as well. People are getting excited about this event. I'm excited about this event. The event starts in 30 minutes. But, yeah, this could be a slight short squeeze here for SoFi because they have, a 13, 14% float, whatever it is. It's too high, okay, for the execution that the company is putting in. This could be a large Kathy Wood buy. She buys in the mornings. Whenever she buys in pretty good bulk. So if she just bought another 2 million shares or something, that could definitely be, some excitement in the stock price here today. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we got to look at our portfolios today. Where's NVIDIA? No. Not 157. Oh, man. The high being 158.71. I've got covered calls out for this, so I'm happy if it chills for a bit. CoreWeave up 2%. Palantir up 5%. Pretty nasty drop off on Friday. So I think that this will recover. It was essentially just a rebalancing. But really nice pump here from both AppLovin and the trade desk. Where's the trade desk? Did it fall off a little bit? 4.7%. But AppLovin pumping. Ladies and gentlemen, I like, in terms of the draft, which if you guys don't know, if some of you guys are new here, there is a stock market draft between myself and 4 other popular stock picking YouTubers or whatever you want to call us, right? And we have picked out in form of elimination draft the top 10 companies that we need to hold over the next year. Okay. Amit right now is at 3.22%. Steve is at 3%. So Amit actually beating out Steve. The person that's expected to come in last, the person that's expected to come out first, might be playing a little bit longer game here for Steve. Matt up 13.83%. Absolutely insane. He knocked out of the park Oscar Health. He knocked out of the park Rocket Labs. SoFi up 26%. Unbelievable. It's going to make me sick. I should have picked it. Going to make me sick. Sir, if I were to replace ServiceNow, which I could have gotten SoFi in this form at this part of the draft, I would be doing so well. But it's hard to complain with, total returns dating back from June 16th up 5.6%. And this was actually the original date that we were supposed to start was on June 13th. And you can see just how much this single day, which is all it was a Friday to a Monday, Chris would have been up 3%. Matt would have been up 18. I would have been up 11. Amit would have been up 6.66%. And Steve would have been up 5.08%. So it's crazy. A single day would have doubled Amit's total return. So we're keeping track of both just because, we'll see if it ends up changing the winnings at the end here. SoFi up 10% now. Oh no, it's coming back down a little bit. But it did hit 1892. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen 1892. Like a lot of the times whenever SoFi does something or has some news, I've been covering this company for so long that like essentially from right around here-ish is whenever I originally bought, because I saw that this trend was happening and then it went down below its low and then I bought in the $14 area. And so I was like, all right, you know what? Happy to buy this compounder. I understand the business. And then what a roller coaster that was. A large dip of me defending my purchase. But reiterating based on the financials that we actually saw or like re-underwriting it to make sure that it was what I thought it was. Into now, hopefully, new highs. I'm up on every single buy I've ever made on SoFi. Okay. I'm up, what is it? Almost like 4 something X on the lowest purchase I've ever made. We've made money along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, holy. Okay, let's step away from that for a second. AppLovin, come on, you got so much more left out of you. Like, let's start pumping. I think the company that I might start a position in next is AppLovin. I got a lot more DD to do. but it surely is a fantastic business. And not one that is, cheap by any means, but still, quality businesses deserve quality valuations, quality multiples, and that goes the same for SoFi. That goes the same for Robinhood, right? Robinhood is currently executing as the best fintech in the entire market, let alone maybe the entire world. I mean, they're outperforming Nubank right now. They're outperforming any of the Asian names that I can think of. Yeah, like even like there's a couple big names, Revolut, Wise. These are well performing names. I don't think they hold a candle to Robinhood these days. So it deserves the highest multiple out of any of them. Out of any of them. Tanner, need to do a 5-year hold on SoFi and forget about it like Warren Buffett? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely what I'm doing. I'm going to hold it even longer than that for the most part. Is if they keep doing what they're doing, which is triple beating and raising and taking market share from existing large banks, it doesn't bother me to look back at my companies. I've got a pretty iron stomach for it. So yeah. SoFi is too slow. Robinhood swooped in and took most of the high net worth companies, and they won't churn for another 5 to 10 years, if ever. So yeah, I mean, those customers, SoFi will probably not win for their brokerage side, but to think that those are most of the high net worth customers, you haven't seen the average, like the average assets under custody for Schwab versus for Robinhood. Robinhood's assets under custody on a average customer basis is something around 9,000. I think it's a little under 9,000. For Schwab, it's like 300,000. So to say that we've lost all the potential for taking large customers, you just don't know how many large customers there is out there. There's a lot. Will you hold Robinhood for 5 to 10 years? 100%. If they keep doing what they're doing right now, which is finding new ways to change markets and dominate, which is exactly what they've done since 2013 or whatever, I have no reason to bet against them. And in fact, I was talking with Amit yesterday, and I was like, man, it would feel weird to buy here in the 80s, but like I might have to. Like, this is a market pull down or drawback will pull down Robinhood. Their company will be worse off than most companies in a market downturn. On the other side, they will do exceptionally well in bull markets, which is also what we're seeing. But the execution for management, not just talking about the financials, right? And like fundamentally, but I mean qualitatively, what management has been able to do, we haven't seen elsewhere. I mean, I'm a big fan of Coinbase products. I'm a big fan of Wise products. But Robinhood is incredible. And I don't just mean their UI or confetti or something that someone makes to be such a small deal for Robinhood. But I mean commission-free trading. That was them. Okay. The lowering of option costs. That was them. The 3% credit card. The ability to bring it all together into one app, let alone intricate advanced trading platform on web, but just an app on your phone, make it look good, bring in futures, bring in index options, all of these things. It's incredible. Now what they're doing with crypto, unbelievable. The cost for the crypto is the lowest. Like they truly are democratizing finance, right, for their users. And it's hard to bet against that because what are they going to get into next? Banking? Are they going to get into, dual-sided commerce and start doing business accounts and revolutionizing business accounts? The finance game is a multi-trillion-dollar business. let alone in the States versus the rest of the world, right? I want them to have the IBKR strategy, which is, spread out and take the world for active trader markets. But they have goals and ambitions much larger than that. And you're seeing it with products like the credit card and like banking as well. Um, let's keep an eye on SoFi. We're seeing another, like, it was selling off there for a sec. And then here we go. Are we headed back up? Or is it camera shy? Every time I put the camera on it, like, is that why that happened and that happened? Who knows? This is my level of technical analysis. Or maybe I can like draw a line and say, oh, look, it's going up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the actual TA people that put a lot of work and hard effort into it, but I don't care about that really. I just care about fundamentals. It seemed to work out so far. And I'm going to stick to that. Tanner, can you do a video in the future of why crypto for SoFi isn't as significant and doesn't generate as much revenue as we'd like or expect to see from Robinhood? I did. Jacob, it's just SoFi Invest makes $7 million for SoFi. Robinhood makes 20x that. We don't have customers that are at SoFi that bring in the amount of assets that Robinhood does, that trade as often, that deal in activities that are as high or as revenue generating. That's the truth. SoFi Invest is for beginners and for ETF buyers and robo advisors, and those people do not make SoFi any money. And that's why SoFi Invest is still losing SoFi money, because they have employees and stuff like this, and they're costing them more than $7 million. Tanner, when Kathy would buy SoFi, for example, how fast will the public know? We'll know at 7 p.m. Every day. Every day. Whenever her ETF rebalances, we'll know. So yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday, but Friday, the last trading day, was like we knew immediately. That's why we're excited for her to see if she's going to buy again, because she bought 2.3 million shares or whatever, and she loves buying whenever the companies are expensive, and she loves selling them whenever they're cheap. So yeah, she'll probably be a buyer today, and then if it continues to increase tomorrow, she'll buy some more. But if it starts dropping, I mean, don't think that she's going to stick around. Okay. Let's make sure that I have this Robinhood event pulled up. We're 15 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. So freaking this is going to be one that I think is more important than the gold event, more important than Robinhood Summit. Financially, the things that they could announce today could be the highest margin products that they've ever announced. And it's all being done in France from, Vlad Tenev, Vitalik Buterin, the people over at TradFi that are going to make whatever they're creating next work, and potentially even work today, because there's code being leaked saying that they're going live like today with tokenized shares of companies and private equity. So and that's all happening in 15 minutes. In terms of the stock, Robinhood's fallen off a little bit since its high. It reached 88.85. Now we're down to $87 a share, up 5%. Seems like the most of the market's actually drawing back right now, but that's fine. It's still a green day, especially for SoFi, for Robinhood, for IonQ for Chime. All these companies are up 7-8%, So a lot of movement in fintech, actually. It's incredible. I just love whenever SoFi is like the highest company that's up in my stock list here, or even portfolio. It's like the company that said like doesn't move. Well, so clearly that was based on no facts at all, like nothing to show off that's what was actually being the case. Just what's happened previously. But in markets, what's happened before doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen into the future. Tanner, what are you anticipating for Hood's price after today? Anything significant? I mean, the run this morning is pretty significant, which I think probably eats into, most of the excitement. And what will the market place? Well, I mean, obviously, like last time, there were so many announcements that we just could not have anticipated, like cash delivery and stuff like this. Like, so I'm really not sure what they're going to show off here. Stuff that maybe no one has ever done. But I could definitely see it run. But who knows? I guess to answer your question, I don't know at all. I don't invest like that, Do I think Robinhood will be higher in the long term? Yes. Based on what is announced today? Yes. Okay. Coming up on essentially 12 minutes left. I've got it all ready to go. Actually, let me make sure that I turn that down. Okay. Things are running. My draft is up 7.6% with AppLovin now only losing me just a tiny bit of money. And I almost have no losers, which is insane. Only AppLovin is the only company that's losing me money. If AppLovin actually starts to make me money, I'll be the only person in the draft with no losers on my list. And like everyone else has companies that are like losing them like a lot of money. Let's go. Quick look back at SoFi. 1871. The high is 1892. Doesn't look like we're going to get to 19 before Robinhood's event. That would be a little too perfect. But still, good day. I mean, come on. If we take a look, I tweeted this out the other day, yesterday. And said, SoFi's proof of execution in 4 slides. Explosive member growth, revenue and profitability momentum, margin expansion across the board, and beating expectations. That's what I showed here. Not only is financials growing, but margins are expanding, and that they continue to beat and raise every single quarter since they've been a public company. Right? Pretty exciting. Decently exciting. Without doxing everyone else that had quote tweeted this. There was one person in particular that quote tweeted it. Anthony Noto. How about those apples? Huh? Now he didn't put the stock ticker, but he put the actual company in. How about those apples? Hopefully, we see more and more engagement from the likes of, Anthony Noto. In terms of Robinhood, there was another tweet that ended up going out here. Robinhood said, Vitalik's in town. join us in Kinez for a fireside chat with our crypto GM, the founder of Ethereum, and the CSO of Off-Chain Labs. Wow. And then so this will be right now in the next 9 minutes here or so. So we'll transition over to that whenever that gets started. Okay. And then aside from the leak, which if there's any new viewers in here that didn't hear about the leak of Robinhood's thing, they are putting out, expected to launch a tokenized stock trading platform for which would include private equity as well, launching in the EU. Okay. And they're expected to also open it with OpenAI. You can see this here. Robinhood EU to launch tokenized stock trading, including private equity, such as, and you can see this here, ticker OPIA, or sorry, OPAI, name OpenAI right here. We'll see. If this is true, this is going to be a big day. And then where do you go from there? You know, do you end up not only offering private equity, and then if it does well, if OpenAI on secondary markets does really well, maybe that opens up OpenAI employees to be able to find liquidity earlier. Maybe it allows them to find liquidity at higher prices than their last funding round. There's so many things that could potentially happen here, right? If that happens, more companies follow. If more companies follow, maybe Robinhood creates this platform that every single business flocks to. Maybe they end up getting into tokenizing other real world assets or a collection of assets. Like they're doing prediction markets. They're doing all of these things. Maybe they let people bet on the price of, I think I saw it in chat earlier, like Labubus or something, like those little, collectibles or Pokemon cards or whatever. All of those things could be tokenized and sold pretty well, pretty easily. No, they're not partnering with OpenAI. They are going to be, well, so we don't really know. This is a leak. They could be wrong, but they are potentially selling OpenAI shares on a tokenized stock trading platform. What a world we live in. It'll be cheaper. It'll be faster. It'll be more secure. It'll be open 24/7 because when Robinhood's not there, blockchain lives on. So they're going to have to set it up in a way that you can do this full time. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this starts in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Like the Oppenheimer countdown. For Trinity. Hey, you don't have to like SoFi, but I personally will bet on both. I think they're both going to do great things. OpenAI shares as a token? Yeah. Well, my assumption is that it will after today, especially from those leaks that are coming out. Yeah, in EU makes sense as well. Might be a way to start doing that so then they can open up to more EU, so then they don't have to worry about payments for order flow. Maybe they charge a extremely low fee or it's just so much cheaper for them to do that, that their cost to serve is so much lower to get them onto other products like options. What if they tokenized Bitcoin mining? What does that mean? Tinder, have you looked at Grab stock? I mean, it's been pumping it lately. Seems like it might be worth a nibble. I'm just not a fan of Grab. I don't see what Amit sees. I Am I back? Can you hear me? Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Um, yeah, my bad. But Nubank just seems like a better grab, like in every way. And yeah, that's what I think is where I want my money placed for sure. Yeah, I own New already. Well, then buy more. Or I mean, you don't have to do anything. Like you said, it's your money, but buy Grab if you want. Um, but everyone's talking about this high growth. It's like 17%. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure they'll do fine, but as an investment, Nubank is explosive. When is the Hood event happening? Right here. You see this? 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Robinhood crypto event starts. It is 10:58 a.m. That means 2 minutes. But this is gonna be really exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started. Let's get buckled up. This is about to be huge. But oh my gosh. No more news. Let's actually we can take a look at the stock price really quick before we transition over just to see. Robinhood up 5.8% to 87.82. SoFi also up quite a lot, 8.6%. App11 Chime running as well today. Palantir, the trade desk. Lots of great companies moving, but we'll see that on the other side. The keynote starting here soon. It just says keynote starting soon. Oh, what else do we want to see? So, Bitstamp, which is how they're going to get a lot of these products, offers borrowing features like Bitcoin Earn, stuff like this. That would be very exciting, but I'm not sure if they will announce that today. They could. I mean, it's Robinhood. They do things very differently. But yeah. And the keynote should be starting anytime now. I'll drop this and get ready to change over to. Oh, I think it is starting.
Right. Welcome to the French Riviera and the historic Chateau de la Croix des Gardes. It's hot out here, isn't it? You guys staying cool? All right, don't worry. You can unbutton a little bit. This is probably the most I can do. Thank you for coming to our first ever crypto keynote and our first big event in Europe. You'll find out how these pieces fit together in just a moment. It's been an exciting year for this community. How many of you are feeling more optimistic than ever about the future of crypto? Great, me too. And we've survived some dark times, haven't we? But finally, clear regulations are coming into effect in the European Union. This means we now have the clarity to unleash many of the financial innovations that crypto makes possible. Meanwhile, the US, after years of attempting to obliterate the crypto industry, is finally ready to catch up to the rest of the world. We as an industry find ourselves now at an important precipice. We have a chance to prove to the world what we've believed all along, that crypto is much more than a speculative asset. It has the potential to become the backbone of the global financial system. So what we're hoping to do today, two things to turn this from a possibility to an inevitability. One, cross that divide by rolling out new products for our US and EU customers, products that go beyond Bitcoin and meme coins and show fundamental utility. And two, give the crypto community outside the EU a glimpse of the better future that's possible when crypto and traditional financial services fully merge. Here to join me in doing this is Tanya Denisova, the Chief Operating Officer of Robinhood Crypto. Welcome her up. Thank you for being here, Tanya.
Thanks for having me.
You've been in crypto now for how many years?
I got into crypto 9 years ago when I stumbled upon a job offer for a crypto company I'd never heard of before. I Googled it and fell down a rabbit hole learning about Bitcoin. I thought it was just the coolest thing I'd ever heard of.
A true believer. Did you buy Bitcoin at that time?
Of course I did, Vlad.
And did you sell it?
Unfortunately, I did sell some of it.
That's too bad. And we also have Johan Kerbrat, our head of Robinhood Crypto.
Hey Tanya, hey Vlad.
Hey Johan.
Thanks for having me here. And since I know you're going to ask, I got into crypto 15 years ago.
Actually, I wasn't going to ask, but thanks for telling me. 15 years, really? That's a long time, Johan. Why are you working for me?
Well, I kind of did a Tanya, and when Bitcoin hit $1, I thought there's no way this goes any higher, so I sold it all. But, really, I'm basically an engineer, so the reason I'm here is I believe in this technology, and I want to make it less complex and more accessible to more people. So what do I mean by that?
We're ready to hear it, Johan.
Sorry, I got carried away. But it can really be viewed in two ways. One is as a tradable asset, like Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. I think you all know that here. The other piece is as a fundamental piece of technology that could reshape financial services. And I think this second idea is really underexplored.
Surprisingly, I actually agree with everything you just said. And that reveals a big question that I've been wrestling with for much of the past 2 years. And that question is, what would Robinhood look like if it was rebuilt from the ground up entirely on crypto technology? And that's exactly what we'll be showing you today.
Well, before we get to that, one thing we noticed while preparing this keynote is that while we're all Americans, all of us were also born here in Europe. I moved from St. Petersburg to the US when I was 2 years old.
And I've talked about growing up in Bulgaria so much that they make memes about it. Like this one.
And I'm actually from right here, from Cannes. I lived here for 10 years and used to skate on the Croisette, bothering all the tourists like most of you guys. Unfortunately, there is no meme about it.
Not yet, anyway. So the reason we're telling you all this is because we're excited to be in Europe. You may be used to Robinhood talking about things in the US, but our long-term goal has always been to democratize finance all around the world. And what we're going to show you today is a significant step towards that. And we wanted to do it in a place where Johan felt most comfortable and where people would understand his accent.
That's very nice of you, Vlad. By the way, can you repeat the name of this place again?
I was looking at the French people and they nodded affirmatively, but touche. The point of today, hundreds of millions of people all over Europe are about to get access to a whole new Robinhood for the very first time.
Until an hour ago, Robinhood was only fully rolled out in 6 countries worldwide. There's the Robinhood crypto app in Italy, Spain, Poland, and Lithuania. And of course, in the US and UK, there's our brokerage app. And that's it.
However, starting today, I'm excited to announce that Robinhood Crypto will now be available in these countries as well. France, of course. Let's see if you can guess the next one. Someone? Germany. And what about this one? Anyone know what country this is from? Vlad, maybe?
Sounds very much like the anthem I heard every day in school when I was a young boy in Bulgaria.
Okay, guys. No one came here to hear every country's national anthem one by one. To cut to the chase, we are now live across the entire EU and EEA. So altogether, with the UK, Robinhood is accessible in a total of 31 countries on this continent alone.
31 amazing countries. And some of the regulators and policymakers who made this possible are actually in the audience tonight. So let's give them a round of applause for their support. Thanks for making this possible. I should also add that we aren't just expanding Robinhood crypto to more countries. No, we're significantly changing what Robinhood does and offers. And I'm not going to ruin it for you all tonight, and hopefully Tanya won't. We'll be getting into all of these new features in great detail.
So for everyone watching in the EU right now, Robinhood is now fully rolled out and available in the App Store and Google Play. So you can download it now or update your app if you're already a user. You might notice a slight change in the name of the app, and the reason for that is going to become clear over the course of the evening.
You may want to take a moment to download it now, because there might be a surprise coming at the end for those who are on the app.
In America, we call that foreshadowing. And I'll just jump in and add a third reason to download it, because there's a whole new asset class coming to the EU app. Introducing perpetual futures. It's exciting, isn't it? We call this, it's like a little appetizer to the main course.
Or the amuse-bouche, I guess.
Yes, or aperitif. Traditionally, perpetual futures have had clunky, overly complicated interfaces, particularly on mobile. So we've spent a lot of time refining and chiseling, and I believe we've crafted perhaps the finest perps experience, the finest perps UX on mobile, reducing the complexity, but without sacrificing the power or speed. Now advanced traders will be able to trade perps on the go, not just stuck at their desk. So I'll step to the side here, and I'll let Tanya and Johan walk you through what the new experience will look like.
Thanks, Vlad. So I've traded perps on different platforms, and one thing I've always found frustrating is how complicated it is to set your orders correctly and modify them.
Now, speaking personally, after having seen some of the interfaces, I would have no idea where to even begin figuring out how to place an order.
And I get it, Tanya. You know, I actually counted how many tabs and inputs it takes to place an order, and it's more than 20. So when we talked to our most active traders, we really got the feeling that they hated what they currently use, but had no other choice. So when we designed perpetual futures on Robinhood, we worked to make it as seamless as possible, much more intuitive, and less frustrating.
Now, before we get started, by a show of hands, how many people here have actually traded perps? Okay, looks like a lot of you have never traded them before. So for those who don't know, you can just sort of break down the name. So first of all, it's basically a future where you say the price is going to be X, Y, or Z, and it's perpetual, meaning that they don't have an expiration date, so you don't need to constantly monitor the dates of your different contracts. Now, like crypto spot, you can go long, but what's different here is you can also short the asset.
And obviously, something that is very popular with perps is to use leverage, enabling advanced traders to increase their exposure with less capital. So on one end, it's a powerful institutional-grade financial instrument, but unfortunately, most of the time, when you want to trade perps, you are being attacked with a screen that looks like my old TI-83 calculator in high school.
So this is why I don't trade perps, but that ends today. Not just for me, but hopefully for a lot of you as well. Let's show you how it works. So as you can see on the screen, this is the ETH page in the Robinhood EU app.
Okay, Ethereum is pretty stable at 2,000. So what do you all think? Is ETH going to go up or down in the next few days? All right, we have a lot of experts in the room. Mom, what do you think? All right, I think we can go bullish.
All right, let's do it. Let's be long. So you can probably figure out what you need to do here to trade perpetuals instead of spot. You just tap on the card and you're now on the perpetuals page for ETH. So let's place a long ETH order. As we're queuing this, we can clearly see how much margin is available and move the slider left to right to choose the order size. Currently, customers can select up to 3x leverage, but in the future, we plan to expand the options for more advanced customers.
And what's really great is you can easily choose to share your margin across all your position or just isolate it with a single type. You get to decide the details of your strategy.
Actually, my favorite feature is how you can set profit and loss on the order. This is really cool and changed the whole experience for me. So we took the innovative ladder that our team designed for futures in the US and we made our own profit and loss ladder. So you can track the price of ETH moving in real time and decide when to take profit by moving the slider here, let's say about 10%, and easily set up a stop loss to help protect your capital, let's say below 5%. Well, it's ETH, so maybe 8%.
And we heard from our customers that they didn't like having to constantly type and update their take profit and stop loss. And it was difficult to do it on a mobile phone. So we made it possible for you to easily change your stop loss with just this swipe of a finger.
So it's incredibly intuitive and easy. And once your orders are placed, you can access them easily through your position hubs and see them all in one place to act on them.
And as we announced a few weeks ago, we closed our acquisition of Bitstamp, the longest continually running crypto exchange in the world. And now Bitstamp is the engine powering perpetual futures. Bitstamp is making possible a lot of other things to help execute the larger crypto vision that Vlad mentioned earlier, like what you see on the screen. So we are looking forward to Bitstamp becoming a foundation of a brand new a brand new global crypto age for Robinhood.
Is my face melting yet?
You surprised me.
Okay, thank you, Johan and Tanya. This has already been a huge unlock for us. In the EU, perpetual futures trading will start rolling out later this summer. So if you're an advanced trader, it's a great time to get familiar with the incredible interface Tanya and Johan just showed you. And by the way, when are perps coming to the US?
So obviously the technology is here and you just saw it. It's all on the Robinhood platform. If and when the CFTC approves the launch of crypto perps, we'll be ready. And by the way, we also introduced micro futures on Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP, and long-dated futures are coming soon. But in the meantime, we have a lot of new products to talk about for the US.
Good transition. I like the optimism. I'd like to see more of that around the office, by the way.
Thanks, Vlad. I will work on it for you.
All right, guys, let's get into some of the features we've been working on specifically for our US customers. There are a lot of them to cover. It's been a busy year, and we've been taking action on some of your biggest requests.
True. We have some major upgrades to announce for our active traders. First of all, as some of you may have seen already, crypto is now available on Robinhood Legend, which is our new state-of-the-art desktop platform. And some of the things people really love about it are the customized indicators and the ability to trade directly from the chart.
And because it's given our traders such an advantage, some of them started asking, when is Legend coming to mobile? And we were a bit unclear about what they meant initially, until we started talking to customers, and it turns out what they really wanted were the powerful charts and indicator on the mobile interface that they know and love. So voila, here they are. Advanced charts are now here for equities and will be coming later this summer for crypto at no additional cost. We think this will be by far the best charting you can get on your phone.
And our next update is something that will reward our most active users. Smart Exchange Routing finds the best available price across multiple partner exchanges. That makes it possible for us to provide crypto fee tiers so that your rate goes down as the amount you trade with us goes up. This is something our most active crypto traders have been very excited about. And the numbers you see on the screen are based on your rolling 30-day volume. Most importantly, it's rolling out now and will soon be available on our trading API as well.
And you pay only 10 bips with 5 million plus in volume, all blended, no maker taker. These rates are fantastic.
And I checked, unfortunately, you don't qualify for this rate. But you actually could use another feature. Starting now, Robinhood is the only major platform in the US where you can choose exactly which specific crypto holding you're selling when you're trading, allowing you greater management of your capital gains and losses. Profit is really only profit after you pay your taxes, so having this ability is really going to be useful.
For those of you with paper hands like Johan here, this is going to be especially helpful.
He's just harvesting his losses.
Sure he is. Sure he is.
So another exciting addition to our US app is our AI investing assistant, Cortex, which will soon be available for crypto for our gold customers. Cortex brings together the highest quality market data, trends, news, and company earnings, with the goal of giving you all the market insights you need right at your fingertips. So from now on, if you're wondering why your favorite crypto is going up or down or sideways, Cortex will give you the context of all the events that happened recently on the crypto detail page of the token you're interested in.
And I'm not sure if you have tried a Robinhood Gold credit card yet. It very quickly became my #1 card in my wallet. To recap one of its main benefits, you get cash back for every category, no matter what your net worth is. The very annoying thing, though, is that I don't want cash back. I want more crypto. So later this year, we'll be launching Crypto Redemption, where customers can actually automatically purchase their favorite token using the regular gold card or one of our brand new crypto card design right here.
I like the Ethereum card for me.
You're just sucking up to the ETH maxis in the audience, aren't you?
I will not confirm or deny that. Now, as Vlad mentioned, all of this is landing in the US first. However, we're looking to bring all these features to the EU app in the future as well.
Finally, one of our most popular features in the EU app has actually been missing in the US. And this has been one of the main recurring requests from our customers. So you'll be happy to hear that starting today, staking, yes, staking, is now available in the US. Now, before we get into the details, I want to talk a little bit about staking and why it matters. Wax poetic, if you will.
Hold on, guys. There was a huge...
So one of the things that makes crypto so robust...
There was a huge leak. They are already putting out stock tokens. They're creating their own layer 2 network. They're staking. They're coming out with everything now.
Compelling is that anyone is able to participate in maintaining the network. You are the network. So staking is not just about earning rewards, although that's very nice. It's also about doing our part individually and collectively to secure this amazing infrastructure that we're all helping to build. And now it's easier than ever to do so on Robinhood. We're starting with Ethereum and Solana staking, and we have some of the best APYs in the market. Voila, here they are.
Also, to help you get more to stake, we currently have a deposit boost running for crypto season. The current offer has a deposit goal that the community needs to reach in order to receive a 2% boost. But to end crypto week on an even more positive note, we're removing that minimum.
So for both our EU and US customers, if you deposit crypto before July 7, we'll boost that amount by 2%, with no deposit goal to it and no limit to how much you can earn. And don't worry, if you already deposited as part of this promotion, you will get the 2%. Anyway, that wraps up our US update. Let's zoom out a bit now and get into one of the most exciting applications of crypto today, one that will fundamentally redefine what's tradable and where it's traded.
You may have already guessed our next update. Yes, now is the time when we get into tokenization. So I believe that tokenization is going to open the door to a massive trading revolution, making it possible to own or even fractionally own all kinds of real-world assets and financial instruments that were never accessible or tradable by most people before. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this for years, including from me and more recently from some of our competitors. But not a lot of action, not a lot of action. Well, that ends today, literally right now, because over the past year, Johan, Tanya, and the rest of the crypto team have been working very hard to make this a reality. Now, the big question we faced was, what shall we tokenize first? So we asked ourselves, what about bonds? Should we tokenize some bonds? What do you all think? Okay, not a lot of excitement about that, I see. How about mutual funds? Mutual funds would be a great thing to tokenize. Very, very cool. Maybe private credit? Carbon credits. Okay, how about tokenized Bitcoin? Okay, yes, that was a trick question. Just wanted to make sure everyone was still paying attention. As we got to thinking about what to tokenize, we saw an opportunity not to just do this with an asset class that we understood very well, because we pioneered commission-free trading in it, but also to solve a pain point that we saw from our European customers, which is, while they love crypto, they really want exposure to US stocks as well. So we're really excited to announce that it is now possible for our European customers to get exposure to hundreds of major US stocks like Apple, Nvidia, and Amazon, in addition to ETFs, in tokenized form, all on chain, with thousands more coming by the end of the year. Introducing stock tokens on Robinhood. Now, stock tokens are a bit of a technically complex trading product, but we've worked hard to make the experience as intuitive as possible for our eligible traders. In large part, the crypto technology powering all this lies under the hood, and we'll be lifting that hood up for you a little bit later. In the meantime, I want to introduce Song Lee, who's our head of product for crypto, to show you what trading stock tokens is going to look like. Song?
Thanks, Vlad. So I've been in crypto for about 7 years, almost as long as Tanya. And at every crypto conference I go to, the main topic is always about mass adoption. I feel like I've heard that mass adoption is 1 year away every year. Actually, there's an Ethereum conference just next door, and one of the topics is about, you guessed it, mass adoption. But what we've realized while driving usage with millions of customers to Robinhood Crypto is that real adoption isn't going to happen from forcing people to understand how the blockchain works, and especially not from having them farm rewards on every new crypto app. It's going to happen not just by making the technology better, but by making the interface so easy and intuitive to use that the technical part is almost invisible. The same reason why hundreds of millions of people started using ChatGPT so quickly. And so that's what we've done with stock tokens. We've made it easy, intuitive, and fast while keeping the complicated technology under the hood. So to show you how this works, I'm going to walk you through what buying a stock looks like on the traditional brokerage compared to buying stock tokens. Here on the left side of the screen, you'll see the US app where you can buy equities the traditional way. On the right, the EU app with stock tokens. So starting from this page, let's say we're interested in Apple. We're going to enter in the amount I want to buy, about 100 euros of Apple. Hit review. Swipe up. And your trade is complete. And that is it. So what's amazing is that you're having a consistent experience across both apps, but the technology making this possible is completely different. In fact, if we weren't telling you that this was a token that you were buying with this token badge right here, you'd have no idea this was a blockchain transaction. By holding stock tokens. You'll get those payments along with any stock splits that might happen directly into the account where you're holding your tokens. You'll also have access to ETFs. Through stock tokens, you can gain exposure to the most popular US ETFs like VOO, SPY, and more. And finally, we're bringing the same zero commission trading that our users in the US love to the EU. So there will be no commissions, no hidden fees, and no added spreads on stock tokens from Robinhood. One thing I should note is that there is a 0.10% FX conversion fee when your euros are automatically converted to dollars during the trade. And that's one of the lowest rates available anywhere. So let's show you how our European app has evolved with the introduction of stock tokens. Now, our app transitions from being a crypto-only app to an all-in-one investment app powered by crypto, all at one of the lowest costs available. So like Joanne hinted at earlier, we've changed the name of the app to reflect this. Robinhood Crypto is now just Robinhood. Here, you'll get perpetual futures, zero-fee Bitcoin trading, and zero-commission US stock and ETF tokens all in one place. This is just the beginning of a major expansion of what's possible for Robinhood's customers in the EU and in the future around the world, all powered through blockchain technology. I'm incredibly excited about this, and I hope you are too. So I'm going to turn it over to Vlad to explain a little bit more about how this works.
All right. Thanks, Song. Very cool. Give him a round of applause. He's been working very hard. All right. As of today, this is available now on the Robinhood app for all eligible European customers. And we're hard at work making it available everywhere else in the world as well, of course, subject to local rules and regulations. Now, stock tokens may not be the easiest product to understand at first blush. So I'm wondering if you're curious about how all this works behind the scenes. I can show you if you'll bear with me. I find the whole process behind what Song showed you fascinating. I'll also share a little bit about how it will evolve in the near future and potentially scale to pretty much any asset. This is a chalkboard. Grant wrote on this on the set of To Catch a Thief, which was filmed here, by the way. I don't know if I believe it, but I have been told this. Okay, so here you are. Our European customer. There's your mobile phone. And let's say you wanted to buy some Apple stock. What happens is that order is transmitted to our backend. And then it's transmitted to a US broker. Now, this is a registered TradFi broker-dealer that will buy a traditional share from what I'll call a TradFi market. Now, this could be a market maker or an exchange like the NYSE or the NASDAQ. Then, that share is transmitted back to the US broker. It's custodied in traditional form, and it gets sent to what we call our tokenization engine. Now, this is where the magic really happens. So for every share that's being purchased from the TradFi market, one token is being minted, and this represents the exposure to this share. And then that token gets transmitted back to you. So what this means is, right now, every time you place a trade, an actual traditional share is being purchased from the market, held in custody, and a fresh token is minted. Then similarly, when you want to sell these shares, the process goes in reverse. Robinhood instructs the introducing broker to sell the share, the underlying share in the open market. Then we burn the token, give you the proceeds. And this is all available 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I'll call this phase one. Okay, and let's talk about what happens in phase two, which hopefully will be rolling out to customers in the next few months. So in phase two, we see the introduction of Bitstamp by Robinhood. Now, what happens with Bitstamp is it's put alongside the TradFi market, and the tokenized instruments would be listed there, just like normal cryptos, like Bitcoin and ETH. And we now have the choice. So let's say the TradFi market is closed, like it is on weekends and holidays. We can send your orders to Bitstamp. But if it's open, then we can send it to the centuries of liquidity that's been building on these traditional markets. So you really would get the best of both worlds. And then this unlocks 24/7 trading, which is very cool. But that's not all. Phase three is when things really start to cook, also a few months away. This is when the possibilities really start to multiply. Okay? Now, if you bear with me with my schematic, we should probably do that. So in phase 3, you're integrating directly with the blockchain. So we're working on unlocking the ability for you to take these kinds of tokens outside of our walled garden and into your wallet, into the world of DeFi. How would you feel about self-custodying your stock tokens? It's cool, right? Well, it just might be available soon in your Robinhood wallet. So what this means, you could take your stock tokens off of Robinhood, control your keys, integrate directly with the blockchain, and take advantage of all the amazing utilities that developers, including many of you here, are building. So this could mean collateralized lending and borrowing, swapping, really self-custody in its very pure form. Now, the beauty of this process is that it transfers pretty easily to any type of asset. So you can kind of circumscribe this part here, and you could replace this US stockbroker with, say, an art broker or a real estate broker, swap out the appropriate market or exchange. Outside of the token stuff, everything is pretty fungible and interchangeable. So we look forward to expanding your trading options with the assets that you care about most. Pretty cool, huh?
Was looking backstage. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what is this piece of critical technology, Vlad?
Oh, this thing. Yes, that is a hat, or as the French would call it, a beret.
Vlad, you know what I meant.
Ah, this thing here. Well, that would be the blockchain, in case you couldn't tell from my amazing sketch or blueprint, really. Right now, it's Arbitrum, but we've been working on something really special. And it's still a little bit early, but I think there's no better time to share it with you all than right now. Introducing the Robinhood chain.
This is the first blockchain optimized for real-world assets, from real estate to art to stocks, with the right technology and regulatory infrastructure needed to carry the entire traditional financial system on its back into the future.
And our goal with Stock Token on the Robinhood chain is that in the near future, you will be able to seamlessly transfer your assets in seconds. And your ability to trade will not be reliant on any individual broker or counterparty. So long as the blockchain is up and processing transaction, you will maintain access to your hard-earned access.
Very, very important. I feel that as the benefits of this technology become increasingly clear in the coming years, the pressure and incentive for more and more firms to adopt it will continue to grow. So we'll continue to work with regulators and bring the entire Robinhood ecosystem on-chain, starting with tokenized assets like stocks, perpetual futures, DeFi, of course, spot crypto trading. And from there, we're planning to open the doors much wider. So, and we've been talking to a lot of the developers in the room about this already. If you're interested in being one of our first developers, we would like to open the doors much wider. So please reach out to us.
And when Vlad says about opening the door much wider on our chain, there is one new asset that comes up a lot. So I want to pre-announce it now because I think it really fits the Robinhood mission. And that's private company stock. These are a massive wealth generator for a very small group of rich, well-connected insiders who get access to these deals early. Like Vlad.
Even I actually have difficulty getting into some of these deals.
And crypto has the power to solve this inequality.
That's going to be a big one. A lot of the technologies changing the world are startups. And I'm sure many of you would love to invest in the companies that you're using or hearing about every day. But with more and more of these companies staying private, even at huge valuations, it's just not accessible to most people. So as an example of what's possible, imagine how your investing portfolio would change if it were possible to get early exposure to private companies like SpaceX and OpenAI, which are now worth billions of dollars.
That would be exciting to do, wouldn't it? But why talk about doing it later when we can do it right now? You may have been wondering what this awesome briefcase that I walked in with was for. Well, I'm holding in my hands right now the keys to the first ever stock tokens for OpenAI. And not just OpenAI, but also SpaceX. SpaceX is in here too. If you download the Robinhood EU app, which we gave you ample warning to do, you're about to figure out why we gave you that warning. I'd like to transfer these tokens to you and give you exposure to two of the most valuable private companies in the world right now. We'll give you a week to onboard, then we're going to release all the tokens. So as long as you're a Robinhood EU customer, you'll be able to claim what we believe are the world's first OpenAI and SpaceX private stock tokens on a decentralized blockchain.
And just remember, the deadline is end of day on Monday, July 7th or July 7th. This is really exciting, and I can't wait to see it.
Coming from Johan, that means a lot. The last time this guy was excited was when Bitcoin hit $1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is send the OpenAI and SpaceX stock tokens to Johan, and he's going to distribute them from the Robinhood entity to everyone that signs up. So I should caveat, don't do what I'm doing, which is import your wallet across a live stream. I'm a very sophisticated individual, but generally, yeah, that's good advice. So I'm going to import. I caught the last word from my crypto steal here. I'm going to enter my PIN, very secure, and wait for it to be imported. It's working. Hopefully the 5G spins a little bit.
Well, you know, it's hot. Even internet is, sweating.
That is very true. Okay. What do you think, Johan?
We could also use the other phone. Always with multiple phones.
Let's see. This one looks like it might be connected. Oh, never mind.
We didn't even have time.
Voila. Okay. So let's see. There it is. There's the wallet. And you can see in there that we've got our OpenAI and SpaceX shares. So let's see. Let's go to OpenAI right here. And I'm going to send them all to Robinhood Europe for your later disbursement. Shall I?
Yeah, why not? Send 1 million.
Okay, let's see. There we go. 1 million, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, why not? All right. Oh, and you can even look on the blockchain at the transaction ID on Arbiscan. So you know it's the internet because this would be loading very, very quickly.
It's really the 5G with all these people here now.
Yeah. Well, while it loads, see, actually the wallet was loading faster than Arbiscan, wasn't it?
Well, there is maybe some congestion on the network, so it should go through shortly, and we'll see the confirmation on the blockchain soon. But while Vlad sends out the OpenAI tokens, I'm going to show you what that will look like when these tokens land in your Robinhood account. If you're already downloaded the app, you will receive the notification you're seeing on the screen right now. Then just open the app and hit Get Started. If you successfully onboard to trade stock token within the next 5 days, you will see the screen right here, then click ahead to see the tokens on your account.
Right now, consider these SpaceX and OpenAI tokens a gift from us. You're going to have to hold on to them for a little bit, but we're working to unlock trading for these on all of our platforms, real time, 24/7. So if you see what's happening here, we have the technology built to tokenize exposure to private markets, make them accessible on-chain and off-chain to everyone. And when we're able to roll this out on a global level, I believe this can solve one of the greatest long-standing iniquities in our capital markets today.
I really hope this helps more people realize why crypto is here to stay and make our entire financial system better. To summarize our announcements for today, you can now trade crypto and stock tokens on Robinhood anywhere in the EU, with perpetual futures coming soon. In the US, we've launched staking and a host of other features for advanced crypto traders, with more coming soon. And for the world, the Robinhood chain is on its way.
Also, I should add some late-breaking news. Just last week, the stablecoin we helped launch, USDG, was approved under the new MiCA regulation in the EU, where popular alternatives like Tether are banned. So you can look forward to USDG becoming a first-class stablecoin across the entire Robinhood ecosystem.
First-class stablecoin. And this is just the beginning of what we're working to make possible. So thanks for coming today. I hope to see you all at Hood Summit in September, because this isn't it. There's actually a lot more coming to Robinhood that you should know about.
See you all there.
Thanks for watching.
Voila.
Guys, oh my. They are reshaping finance. Like, I don't know how to explain it in any other way. Of course, the stock is pumping on this news. Like, what else did we expect? Holy. So essentially, I tweeted it out on what exactly we just saw here. And there was a little bit of a leak talking about this earlier, but they had announced it on their website. So I was on their website translating all of this. But they're bringing everything. Smart order routing, Cortex AI to crypto rewards via the Robinhood crypto card or credit card. They've got custom cards coming out. Tokenizing stocks, tokenizing private equity, building their own layer 2 blockchain, which they want the entire finance rails to be built on. So like other brokers are going to have to tap into Robinhood's chain. Perpetual futures, this is just where the majority of advanced traders go to for crypto, because you're able to short it as well. So you have sort of both, you can play both sides there. Crypto staking is now eligible for US users. Like, this is freaking nuts. This is nuts, guys. Unbelievable. And of course, the stock is up 9.5%. Like, I don't know. $91 a share. I bought this thing at like 16, guys. The lowest I bought it at was like 14 something whenever August 5th came around. This is nuts. My biggest mistake is not buying, like, I think the last time I bought was like in the 40s or something. I didn't buy in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And they keep pushing the boundaries. Like, I actually don't get it. They're not trying to do what other companies are doing at all. They're trying to completely rewrite it. They are rewriting finance. No other company is doing this. Some companies do some things better. They are rewriting the status quo. We have Satoshi Nakamoto in the chat that said they put Coinbase on their ass. Satoshi, thank you for joining us. Yeah. Yep. Coinbase is going to be going hard for tokenized real world assets as well, and they won't be needing Robinhood chain as well. So they will be a fierce competitor here. They will. But there will be a mass amount of customer or players that won't look to even do this, because the traditional way will work all right. Excuse me. Tired. I think Nubank will compete. I think they will be a real competitor. Oh my freaking gosh, guys. What's going on here? What's this candle? But essentially, that was the event. This is what happens with all their events. This is nuts. I'm a really freaking proud holder of Robinhood. I don't think 100's the high. I don't think 150's the high. I don't think 200's the high. I mean, actually, I don't see a top for them. If they keep doing this, every single trader, investor will want to use this platform that's putting out the most advanced products. And you're going to start getting people with unbelievably large assets, like asset sizes. You know, Robinhood Concierge just recently came out, which you need $1 million plus in high trading activity to be able to have eligibility for. The only thing is with Robinhood is just that there is some level of they are trading on a bull market. So am I trying to time my investments because I know that there will be a time where it's cheaper? And how bad is that? They do have the wealth transfer tailwind. They really do. They really have the wealth transfer tailwind. Yeah. Yep. A lot of customers now are going to be switching over to Robinhood because they have that 1% match. I'm curious what people are going to do about that. Holy. Let's see if I can call some people. Hear what Amit has to say. I'll give him a call. When will token reveal going to happen? What exactly do you mean? So do I buy crypto in another account and transfer it to get the 2%? I mean, in essence, yes, but it might cost you more than that in the higher transaction fees in other brokers. So I would not suggest that be the strategy, is just purchasing it on Coinbase and then switching over. Yep, I just got an email from Robinhood's team. They announced several new products. For staking, okay, these are some additional details, guys. Stick around for a sec. This is details you're not going to find elsewhere. For staking, customers will retain 75% of the rewards, and Robinhood will retain 25%. That's actually pretty high. I know a lot of companies that do 60-40. So 75-25, okay? We will charge 2 basis points on perpetual futures notional volume. And tokenized U.S. equity transactions will have a 10 basis point FX fee associated with both buys and sells. All right, there you go. 10 basis points for tokenized U.S. equity transactions and 2 basis points for perpetual futures notional volume on the volume. Why wouldn't Steve buy Robinhood? Because he's on Thinkorswim or whatever. I don't know. He's somewhere else. We don't need to worry about him. We're on our own thing. But this is freaking exciting. Like, stock at 91.27 now. SoFi just underneath it, 1871. It is a good day to be a fintech investor, isn't it? Holy. You better get your data together for Robinhood Weekly tonight. Lots to discuss. Yeah. Yep, lots to discuss for sure. SoFi is mainly moving on the potential for rate cuts. They are essentially like the market will disconnect these two because SoFi will be a big lender and Robinhood will be a big broker. And obviously they're going to play in each other's courts, but I don't think it'll be as much as people think. Holy frickin' crap. This is why I love this team, though. I know everyone's mad about the time that they took away the buy button on GameStop or whatever, but that's a small piece. That is a small piece of what a bunch of brokers did because of unprecedented volume that they could have never expected. So they got caught with their pants down. Since then, like with tokenized real world assets, they'll never, ever, 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 ever need to do that because there's no collateral for them to hold. And then with Trade Plus 2, that was really worrisome. But now with Trade Plus 1, it's much less worrisome because there's less collateral. So don't think that's going to happen again. It's very exciting. Yep. Arnie is in the EU right now, and he's tweeting out that he can actually see his OpenAI shares and SpaceX shares, for which I think he was given $5 of each based on how many people signed up, is what I would like to assume. Crazy. This is the future. Okay, we're going to get into a call here in 5 minutes with some other people that were watching. But yeah, like, look at this. Absolutely crazy. What are your guys' thoughts? Like, should we buy it here still at 90.73? It seems high because of the amount that it's appreciated, but also I'm like looking at the size of the markets and the opportunity, and I'm like, can they keep up a 40% growth rate? Can they keep up north of a 40% growth rate? If that's the case, like, why don't we continue to run here? But then you look at Coinbase, and Coinbase has been in a market that's been very explosive, but then whenever the market draws down massively, like a crypto winter, those stocks are massively on sale. So it's just like, do you wait for a crypto winter and like financials to turn south on Robinhood, and then just like whenever it drops to 60, 50, you just load the boat? You know? Or do you just buy a little bit every week and you don't care about it? Which is what I usually like to do for companies that grow normally, but this isn't normal. Two of the biggest names that I cover on this channel are up 9% today. What the Jeez. I got to check my own portfolio here. Yep, that's what I expected. Okay. Woo! Looks good. We're at all-time highs, so just keep it going. Keep it going. I'm not selling any shares, so I'm just going to... Arnie is buying Hood tokens now, showing what that process looks like because it's already out for the EU. So you can see this here. Buys $5, however much of Hood tokens. I want to see... Okay, wait. Let's break this down a little bit. So it shows that he has Hood tokens specifically. So there's a token for each individual company, I assume. They take 10 basis points on the foreign exchange or on the FX fee there. You're placing an order to buy these tokens. If executed, your order will execute at a maximum of $78 per token to protect against volatility. Well, 78 euros. View order well, I guess if you view, like, where can I see it on chain? Maybe view order details. Hood order pending. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a time to be alive. I'm holding Hood until I early retire. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad strategy either. I'm jealous that EU gets SpaceX and OpenAI. Yeah, I mean, those products will definitely come to US soon as well, but there's usually a lot of private allocations that you can end up getting as well through normal means. But I know what you're saying. Like, if I have tokenized shares and someone else has tokenized shares, maybe I can be able to trade with them at any point, and there's its own fluctuating secondary market that Robinhood is going to create. But they also need a lot of users to make that any sort of real demand and something that actually changes the pricing. So yeah. Hamid just said on X, I sold a bit more of my Hood today. I've now sold more than 2x more Hood than the amount of money that I put into it, and yet I'm still 24% of my portfolio. So he's selling. I'm thinking about buying here. I mean, he's probably doing the decently smart thing, but I've got a long life ahead of me, hopefully. Knock on wood. And there's only so many times in history that you can buy generational companies that are like legitimately shaping different industries. Robinhood is clearly doing that. It does seem like that right now, that U.S. individuals will not be able to get their hands on private market investments just yet, but I'm sure that will be rolling out soon. I don't think you'll have to wait too long. Okay. Plate Lunch Express, man, every single one of your tweets has been the most boring. Like, if you don't like this company, I don't understand why you're here. You said it was pre-recorded. I said, no, it's not pre-recorded. I've been to these events. Like, it was like this for the gold event. It was like this for the summit. And then you were going on and on about how it was staged and how none of this is new and how they're going to lose money. Just leave, brother. Just go do something else with your time. Okay? Because you're not saying anything to the contrary. You're just disagreeing for fun. You can sell a $110 covered call. I mean, that seems kind of interesting. $110 covered call for July 18th. For $1.08 a share. Jeez. Is it going to get there? I mean, it can't. I mean, I can't say it can't. It can, but it's an $80 billion company, ladies and gentlemen. Like, does that not scare anyone? Like Charles Schwab's like 160 billion. I don't know. I'm conflicted. But if they just keep going, like, this is not even their last announcement for the day. They have another one coming out after this. Their Robinhood Summit like 2.0. They're 2025. That's what it would be called. So I don't know. It's just expensive, but for a very, very good reason. And what do you pay for that? But man, that growth, god damn it. Yeah. No, seriously. It's nice. I see it. It's nice. But like this quarter is not going to be as exciting from a crypto perspective. Does that pick up in Q3 because they have staking and because they have all of these other products that they're going to come out with? Maybe. EU has not proven to be as big as we would think. I don't know. No one wants to buy an ETF of sorry. There's a tweet saying you can buy OpenAI and you can buy SpaceX through these ETFs and blah blah blah. No one wants to do that unless it's exclusively those ETFs. And then even that, we don't want expense ratios that are eating into your profits each and every year just for holding onto those shares. Like it's doesn't make much sense. Sell Palantir for Hood. I think I think there's nothing that says that Palantir's growth is going to go down. Hood's growth going down is as easy as the market goes down. Their growth will go down. So it's a little different. That is so tempting. Especially the more it climbs, if the premiums keep climbing, like the more it climbs, the harder it is to get to 110. You know, we're up 9.4% today. I haven't thought at all about what July 18th goes through, though. You have to think about what events it might run through as well. Do I hold chime? No. I missed the live on Robinhood. What does the Sol and ETH staking mean? So if you are a holder of Ethereum and Solana, the way that those companies work is that you can stake your assets to help verify the network, and you can be rewarded for that, which historically has not been allowed on Robinhood or very many of the older brokerages, but it's been completely allowed on the crypto exchanges and on like your own wallet. So without getting too technical into the actual staking implications and everything, I mean, we did that at the beginning of the show, but what it means is that you can now make a dividend, let's say, or a percent on your money if what you were already holding was ETH and Solana, and they will pay you 75% of the total stake reward. Another 400 million potential users with expansion to whole of EU. Yes, but also no. That would be very hard. Okay, let's do a call into another YouTuber that was following the event and get their thoughts and ideas on what the heck we just saw here today. I'm waiting for a call. Let's see. Guy just told me to call. All right. We'll see. 1 sec. He said 1 second. Buy Hood quarterly report will be a blast. I mean, will it though? I need to put out a video today. I'll put out a video today on what my expectations for Robinhood are. There was also a sneaky announcement at the end saying, okay, wait 1 sec. Amit.
Tanner.
What's good, buddy?
Dude. you're still live, right?
Yep, I am.
Okay. Hello to Tanner's audience. I guess I'll get started with you, bro. What are I know we'll talk about it tonight on the podcast, but what are your thoughts?
Bro, if you want one company, like this is what I was saying to people earlier, is like a lot of companies say they're reshaping the world. Robinhood truly is changing the game at every single one of these events. They're pushing the boundaries and blowing people away. So tokenization of assets, great. Tokenization of OpenAI, SpaceX, and whatever companies are going to sign up to do this next, unbelievable. Liquidity for employees, being able to trade in and out. It's only going to get more popular as more companies add on. And then on top of that, they're doing like everyone talked about the infrastructure. Sorry, I'm going all over the place, but there's so many things that were announced.
Okay, you're good. No, you're good. No, I agree. Look, there's a lot to talk about, and I know we'll collect our thoughts today and go deeper on it tonight.
Robinhood chain, like everyone talks about SoFi being the infrastructure play. Robinhood wants every brokerage to tap into their real world assets tokenized chain. So then that adds liquidity for everyone. Because if you break up and everyone does their own thing, it's bad for everyone.
Yeah, and Arnie just posted a video. We're looking at it right now, buying Robinhood on Robinhood in Italy via stock tokens. Like the fact that it's, dude, I thought they would announce it. That maybe takes a little bit of time. It's here. It's like it's happening right now.
Crazy. And we're pumping up new highs once again right now. 91.70. Holy.
Wait, let me check resistance at 92. This is, I mean, dude, this is just, it's one of those, I think the street is correctly realizing that they're going for everything at this point.
Everything.
And as a result, they're giving them the premium here. And if the S&P gives them inclusion at 100, and these funds have to buy it at this price, I mean, dude, it's going to catch a bid at a pretty high level. 92 resistance, folks. 11,000 shares. There's not really resistance. 11,000 shares.
Hilarious, man.
Pretty incredible. Yeah, I'll give some of my thoughts. I think, the perpetual futures are amazing. Staking, we all knew was going to happen. The big thing here is tokenization. I mean, the fact that a bunch of Europeans in my chat just got SpaceX and OpenAI tokens, and they're buying Robinhood, Palantir, NVIDIA on their app. The crypto app is now called Robinhood, so they get full access to what we get in the States, which is the ability to just buy a stock without worrying about commissions. I think that's a game changer. And I think the level of liquidity, as you were mentioning, is going to increase dramatically. The amount of transaction volumes will increase. The ability for them to monetize the FX spread, Robinhood 3 cents away from 92. There you go, folks, 92.
Holy crap.
92, the street's a little bullish on Robinhood. I think the street is just recognizing that this is the future, this is happening. They have another event coming out in a couple months in September, so it's not like the innovation is stopping. They're going to Singapore by the end of the year. That's going to be big. I mean, when it comes to a generational company led by a founder that is realizing their business can touch every single element of someone's financial future utilizing technology, it's Robinhood. And it's happening.
Bro, every country that they they announced it in such an interesting way where they said, oh, we're expanding into these other 31 countries. Oh, and by the way, we're bringing stock trading to all those countries today. You just entered brokerage in all those countries. Like, no one's thinking about it that way. You
literally just entered brokerage in all those countries.
Yeah.
Via tokenization. Germany, all of them. Robinhood, Italy, and Robinhood's everywhere now. Everywhere.
And now it's so easy to expand into crypto for all these countries. Like Coinbase is in 100 plus countries. Imagine if Robinhood goes that same direction, but they're bringing brokerage with them. You're getting the Robinhood experience. It's not even going to be called Robinhood Crypto. They're just going to call it Robinhood.
I think we're going to get some $100 upgrades tomorrow, dude. I think it's, I mean, look, the question now becomes valuation, and I know that's going to be the biggest concern for everybody. 81 billion. They're going to do about, what, 3.5 billion of revenue this year? I mean, like, look, here's the thing. As valuation increases, people have to ask themselves, is the growth trajectory increasing? And based on what we saw today, we have no reason to not believe the growth will accelerate, even if, you know, the market stalls out a little bit, maybe things get a little bit more bearish in the macro. There's going to be new levers of growth they can pull. And I think that's what the street's pricing in.
Yeah, yeah. Even immediately with staking in the United States, like we already saw, Robinhood's going to take 25% of the cut. The other people are going to take 75%, which is actually still pretty high for a brokerage. Like giving the user 75%, that's pretty high. But that's going to add into their, you know, Q3 immediately. The customers that are buying private shares and everything, this immediately hits their top and bottom lines.
Yeah, and also assets under custody, right? I mean, if you got some Europeans that are like, screw IBKR, I'm coming to Hood, you bring over a couple $1 million, right? Like if you got some of the more wealthier Europeans that are just like wanting a better experience. I mean, just on the crypto side, not even because they can't really do the ACAT transfer, but if they get that 2%, they got rid of the 500 million now. That should be a major catalyst for Q3 for net deposits as well, since today's the last day of Q2. You're just getting a lot bigger customer base across the world. We're not even in Asia yet. And I think it's going to be really exciting to see. Given you're more familiar with staking than me, when you said that's very high, 75%, you're saying that Robinhood's giving them a really good rate, or Robinhood's taking too much?
Robinhood's giving them a decent rate. Obviously, taking 25% is still very high. Like if you just think about that, like to take a quarter of someone's earnings. The people who stake a lot and want to make a lot of money on their crypto will do it on their own wallet. Okay. But Robinhood will let you do that in the Robinhood wallet today. So you can have that ability. But for someone who doesn't want to get into the technicalities, who just wants to earn a reward on the money that's already sitting in their account in Robinhood crypto, 75% is decent. There's a lot of brokerages that do 60-40 and they'll take a 40% cut. 75-25 is not crazy. That's a nice, it's not as Robinhood-esque. I would have expected Robinhood to do something like a 90-10. That would be very Robinhood, but 75-25 is still good.
It's better than the competition is what you're saying.
Yeah, to most competition. Yeah, there's other companies doing 75-25, but yeah.
Got it. Makes sense.
But like, and then at the end of the event, they just wrapped it up with, oh, and by the way, we just got clearance for USDG. And so we're going to be rolling out all these stablecoin products here in the next, who knows, maybe they're going to announce another Robinhood crypto event. Like we're acting like the events are over. This is going to happen every year, you know?
3 times a year, every year, you're going to have gold, crypto, and active traders. And I think the market's just realizing, all right, this is not stopping.
It's insane.
This is not stopping. Thank you to PLTR, who gave me a $200 super chat. I think we're going to have to buy our first. He said, congrats, 2 Hood shares. I will be buying 2 Hood shares right now for that super chat. So thank you for that super chat. It means the world. Here's my first buys in the 90s. My last buy was at 83. I bought 500 shares. Here you go. You'll see it fill on Legend. There you go. 2 shares of Robinhood in the 90s. Tanner, do you think now that Robinhood is giving enough perception to the market that they are diversified? I mean, because if the market tanks, we know transaction volumes tank. Do you think this is enough for the streets to be like, all right, even if the market tanks, we can still give them a higher premium?
I don't know. That's a little different. Like companies like Coinbase and Robinhood run whenever the markets are bullish, and they will run so fast and so hard. But let's not forget that, you know, Coinbase went from $300 a share down to 30 whenever things looked like we were in a crypto winter. So I'm very excited that Robinhood, and I'm a very big believer. Me and you were texting last night. I'm like, man, I should have been buying through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Like this was a mistake. This is a generational company. But like there will be times to buy this company on the cheap as well. Might not be cheaper than today. I mean, we might end up going down all the way up to 200 and then pulling back to 90, and then that's your buying range. Like I don't know what.
Well, so this was the thing. This is the thing that happened with Palantir. Palantir, the last time to get it cheap was during tariffs when it fell to 60. But outside of that, when it went on its run, it has not so far given back really any of the gains. I wonder, now Palantir is a SaaS company that, there's a lot of different components. It's not as cyclical. Robinhood is very cyclical, even though they're trying to diversify. So you're absolutely correct. There could be a bit of a bearish market. And then, their numbers just don't look good and the stock falls off. But if they can diversify enough, like just enough in the next 18 months until you get that bear market, if it ever does come, then I think that is what potentially could keep them higher and not have a Coinbase type of a drop in 2023.
Before I let you go, brother, and we'll talk later tonight, but thank you for getting me on this company. I didn't buy it as early as you, but I didn't miss the boat either. What a freaking wild ride this has been. And I don't see why it has any reason to stop for the next 5 to 10 years as it overtakes, the larger brokerages in terms of market cap. And those customers are going to realize, I just want to say thank you, but I'm not selling my shares. This is absolutely freaking phenomenal. Super excited.
Well, I need to thank you for hopping on the ride because when you came on at 17, it gave me someone to really analyze this with more deeply, right? We have a whole podcast together, you, me, and Roy. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about tonight, but this would not be as fun if you don't do it with friends. With Palantir, I got to go on the journey with a nice big community and lifelong friendships. And with Robinhood, I think that's creating the same between us. So it's really cool. It's fun analyzing this every week, and I'm sure we'll be at many more events in the future analyzing it. But in this game, it's about, can you find the outlier and can you ride that outlier to the glory? And we've been able to do that together. So super, super cool, man.
Isn't that so funny? This company's running up to 90. I feel zero pressure to sell. Zero pressure. I'm not like, there's no shakes. I'll go to bed easy tonight.
Because if it does want to go back to 50 and 40 and the market wants to give me a chance again, be my guest. I'm not in this for tomorrow, right? You're not in this for tomorrow. We're both in this for like the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah,
so.
100%. All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Tanner. Love it. Talk later.
Peace. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the great and powerful Amit Kukreja. Here we are with Robinhood up 10.45%, breaking through $92, but coming back down just slightly to $91.75. This is where we ended yesterday. 83.14. We go back a month, it's up 40%. We go back 3 months, 130%. We go back a year, 300%. That's not a 3x, ladies and gentlemen. If you see 100%, that's a double. 200%, triple. 300%, that's a 4x in a year. And people say that, you won't be able to beat markets. You have to find companies that make, 9 to 10% per year. No. Yes, I believe that. But there are times where you can find companies that are sticking out from the crowd, and it's quite easy to see. Focus on the fundamentals, focus on the quality of the businesses, track all of that. Okay? And you don't need to get it at the absolute bottom. I didn't get it at the absolute bottom. I didn't see this company at $7, $8. I was worried about Robinhood at $7, $8 because I'm like, look at them. They're sitting on billions and billions of dollars of cash and they don't know what to do with it. Like this team is lost. I was like, it's a young CEO. He's over his skis. He does not know what to do with this money. He doesn't know what to do with this team. He's getting buried. And then they showed one quarter, I think it was like Q1 of 2024, Q1 of 2023. And I was like, oh my God, they get it. They started making the right acquisitions. They started going after the right goals. You're even seeing it with Coinbase now. You just see the change in their goals lately have been to focus on high return, needle moving retail products. You don't need some long thesis. It's okay to change your mind. I switched on a dime for Robinhood, and I got made fun of for going from, bearish on Robinhood to bullish after it went from 8 to 16. But who's laughing at me? I got it at 16. It's 92. I'm very happy with my purchase. Holy. And then on top of that, though, you got to enjoy the bull markets while it's here. I mean, Nubank doing fantastically. SoFi up 8.32%. Robinhood doing well. Palantir up 6%. I mean, come on. This is just crazy. What did you guys think about the event? I think at 92, I'm going to sit on what I have. I think that there's opportunities like Nubank, for example. Like this is another unbelievable, fantastic company. Don't look at the stock. This is a great example of like, oh, what's the next new or what's the next Robinhood? How do we find it early? Blah, blah, blah. Look at the stock. It's flat over the last little bit. Now, look where they've came from. Now, go through this company's financials, see the growth rates, the customers that they've been able to acquire, the different areas that they've been able to expand into. To me, I don't think it's hard to look at this company and say, okay, they're going to do fantastically over the next little bit. Do I think that they're going up to 18 tomorrow? I don't know how it's going to happen. I even didn't think that they were going to get past like $12 here. And then just a recent report came out right here that bumped them up 8% because Morgan Stanley said what I've been saying. Hey, this company is getting like, people are expecting it to be down and out when really they're going to do just fine. But, take a look at the forward PE on this company. It's like 22. What are we talking about? Yeah, the perp futures are going to be huge. Huge, huge, huge. That's going to bring in some real crypto activity. I didn't even really think about that, like how much that's going to expand the average user that is paying a higher rate at Coinbase because they actually have these products, or they're paying a higher rate at other exchanges because they have those products. If Robinhood comes out with a truly cheap perp future product, that could win over the big whales, big whales. Tanner, do you have a general price target on Nubank? Yeah, 18. Is that what's going to be needed to bring in the big volume? I think they said it's 3x leveraged right now, but is 10x, like, is that where all the volume is? Because that might be the case. I might be wrong here, and they still need to bump up the quality of their futures to expand to a larger audience. Someone just said, talk SoFi. SoFi's good. SoFi's doing great. We're hitting new 52-week highs. But, this is where I was worried about before. We've surpassed that. But we just had the Robinhood event. We got to celebrate it a little bit. I mean, this was a fantastic day. Most people use 5 to 20x leverage, but increases risk. Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm interested. That is interesting that most people have, tons of leverage on it. That will change the type of customer. Maybe we won't get the most high risk people, but potentially the 1 to 3x will still start to bring some customers over. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to go get some lunch, maybe a coffee, as you guys have seen from the amount of yawns that I've taken already today, that I have not had a coffee yet, and I'm drowning here. But the investing game, I personally think, should not be overthought of. Find generational businesses, quality companies, the ones that you can find based on fundamental analysis, and in my case, qualitative analysis as well. Find the CEOs that stick out, the teams that stick out. Look for what they're saying in the markets. If people are constantly telling you in the industry, oh, I'm a software engineer, I shouldn't go work for that company. That company has a bad reputation. Listen to that. Okay? If everyone says, oh, that company has the hardest working culture, blah, 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 like, take in the data that is all around you. Don't ignore it. I think a lot of people see green flags and then they see red flags. And whenever they see red flags, they ignore the severity of what that means. But yeah, this is going to be a good time, a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. But bye for now.